Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss the announcement that Iran and Saudi Arabia have agreed to resume diplomatic ties and reopen their embassies after a 9-year-long period of strained relations is a significant development in the Middle East. The announcement comes after several rounds of secret talks between the two countries, which were reportedly mediated by China. The two countries have been rivals for decades, and their rivalry has been fueled by sectarian and geopolitical differences. The resumption of diplomatic ties is expected to contribute to regional stability and reduce tensions in the Middle East. To understand the history of the rivalry between Iran and Saudi Arabia, it is necessary to go back several decades. Iran and Saudi Arabia are both Muslim-majority countries, but they follow different sects of Islam. Iran is predominantly Shia, while Saudi Arabia is predominantly Sunni. This religious divide has been a major source of tension between the two countries. The rivalry between Iran and Saudi Arabia dates back to the 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran, which saw the overthrow of the country's monarchy and the establishment of an Islamic republic. The new government in Iran sought to export its revolutionary ideology to other countries in the region, which threatened the established order in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, which sees itself as the leader of the Sunni world, was alarmed by Iran's revolutionary rhetoric and its support for Shia movements in the region. Saudi Arabia responded by funding Sunni groups in Lebanon, Iraq, and other countries in the region to counter Iran's influence. The rivalry between Iran and Saudi Arabia intensified in the 1980s, when Iran and Iraq were at war. Saudi Arabia supported Iraq, while Iran received support from Syria and other countries in the region. The war ended in 1988, but the rivalry between Iran and Saudi Arabia continued. The rivalry between Iran and Saudi Arabia reached a new level of intensity after the 2011 Arab Spring uprisings. Iran supported Shia groups in Bahrain, Yemen, and other countries that were calling for democratic reforms, while Saudi Arabia supported Sunni groups that were opposed to the uprisings. The rivalry between Iran and Saudi Arabia also played out in the conflicts in Syria and Yemen. In Syria, Iran supported the government of President Bashar al-Assad, while Saudi Arabia supported the opposition. In Yemen, Iran supported the Houthi rebels, while Saudi Arabia led a coalition of Arab countries that intervened in the conflict to support the government. The strained relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia led to the severing of diplomatic ties in 2012. The two countries have had no diplomatic relations since then, and their rivalry has contributed to instability in the Middle East. The announcement that Iran and Saudi Arabia will resume diplomatic ties and reopen their embassies is a positive step towards reducing tensions in the region. The two countries are major players in the Middle East, and their rivalry has contributed to conflicts and instability in the region. The resumption of diplomatic ties is expected to lead to increased cooperation between the two countries on issues such as trade, security, and counterterrorism. China's role in mediating the talks between Iran and Saudi Arabia is also noteworthy. China has increasingly become involved in the Middle East in recent years, particularly through its Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. China has sought to establish economic ties with countries in the region and has also played a role in mediating conflicts, such as the ongoing conflict in Syria. China's involvement in the Middle East is likely to increase in the coming years, as it seeks to establish itself as a major player in the region. China's role in mediating the talks between Iran and Saudi Arabia demonstrates its growing influence in the region, and its potential to play a larger role in resolving conflicts in the Middle East. In conclusion, the resumption of diplomatic ties between Iran and Saudi Arabia is a positive development in the Middle East, and is expected to contribute to regional stability. The history of the rivalry between Iran and Saudi Arabia highlights the complexity of the issues. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.